Hi, Farheen. I'm really sorry about the delay. I was actually out of the country for a couple of days, so I wasn't able to get to your essay. But here we are. Let's get back into it and not waste any time. Father staying at home while mothers got to work. Let's see what you wrote. Experts throughout the developing and developed world have debated whether the changes in traditional parents' roles are affecting positively or negatively. Now, here you need affecting is a word that needs an object. So, are affecting families, are affecting society. So, you have to say what you're affecting. Okay, it's not enough to just write affecting like that. Or you could have just rephrased it. You could have said, have debated whether the changes in traditional parents' roles have a positive or negative effect, but this time effect would be with an E. All right, so a couple different choices there. I strongly believe that the main reasons for this, uh, mm, well, no, not is due to. That doesn't work with the main reasons for this. Are that women nowadays, uh, you have to change the whole structure of this, I'm afraid now. So I strongly believe that the main reasons for this are, why don't we do it like that? Women nowadays having better earnings than men and also having mutual understanding of both partners. Yet it is a positive development for women, comma, not men. This essay will discuss both sides, employing specific examples from the UK government, Oxford University, to demonstrate points and arguments. Okay, that sentence was clearly complicated. Complex is good. Complicated is you want to aim for more simplicity. Um, I mean, it's not too long, but like I said, it was a little complicated. So maybe you could have condensed this. I've been reading it several times to figure out how you could improve it so you can get all these ideas across, which I think are important. But maybe we could just condense it a little bit. So how about I strongly believe that this is due to women's higher earnings and mutual understanding between partners. Uh, Full stop. Additionally, it is a positive development for women, but not men. Okay, maybe this would have helped. It certainly clarifies your ideas and it makes it um, a little easier to read. Okay? All right, so let's move on to the next paragraph. On one hand, there is ample evidence that men are taking up responsibility for the upbringing of their children by staying at home. The central reason behind this is twofold. Firstly, women not are having, but have better working opportunities than men. This is largely because nowadays mothers are well educated and they often focus on building their careers and climbing up their career ladder and earn much more than men. All right, this is good, except I don't like all the ands here. Look, they're well educated and they focus on their careers and climbing the career ladder and earn much more. So, this is an example of really simple cohesion. It's really simple and it's a little repetitive. So, what you wanted to do here to bring this up to the next level, wait, no, there we go, is do something a little more sophisticated here. So, not and not and so many times. I mean, how many is it in this one sentence? One, two, three. It's just too much, okay? So, this is largely because nowadays mothers are well educated, comma, focusing on building their careers and climbing up their career ladder, while often earning much more than men. Okay, maybe you could have gotten rid of that here. Did I include that often? I think you get my point. So, uh, this is largely because nowadays mothers are well educated, comma, focusing on building their careers and climbing up the career ladder while often earning much more than men. You see, there you go. So you get rid of at least two of those ands and you do some really nice, sophisticated, higher level grammar like that. Okay? All right, let's move on. As a result, women have better future prospects, so they work outside, and fathers have no choice but to stay at home to look after their children. All right, I have a comment about that. We'll talk about it later. Secondly, the understanding between parents has improved. Not because it's understanding. That's your subject here. Okay? Then the between parents just explains which understanding, but it's a singular. So it's has improved. For example, recent empirical research from the UK government demonstrated that 90% of all parents have better mutual understanding of each other. I would have gotten rid of the A. No, let's see. Have a better mutual understanding of who should stay at home and take care of a child. Therefore, comma, it is clear that there are many reasons why fathers decide to stay at home and become their children's apostrophe s caretaker. Okay, so that's all fine. I told you that I wanted to come back to this. You made this generalization, you made this kind of sweeping statement. You said they have no choice but to stay home and look after their children. My question to you would be, why do they have no choice? In many countries, people have daycare, they have nannies, so there are, in many countries at least, lots of alternatives to one of the parents being obligated to stay home. So you have to be careful about generalizations like this. All right. Um, so what else could you have said? You could have said something like, uh, the logical choice for fathers is to stay at home. I mean, it's not the only choice, but it is a preferable choice, okay? Or the best choice, even. But you have to imply that you have to at least acknowledge that there are some other choices out there, okay? And this is something that I think a lot of students do with this essay. They don't account for the fact that there are other options out there. So this essay assume presumably knows that, and so they want to know, why would a father decide to stay home, when we know that there are in many cases those other options. In any case, um let's move on. On the other hand, although fathers who continue to stay at home face some problems, this decision could have a positive impact on mothers. Perhaps fathers who are supposed to be the breadwinners traditionally might face social pressure for not working and earning. This leads them to mental, well, we usually call them mental health issues. Okay, so this leads them to mental health issues, or lead, yeah, like depression, anxiety, and even feeling like going back to the workforce. Don't use that might here. However, women who are supposed to do all household chores and stay at home to raise their children are now able to work outside, which makes them more confident and they are able to show their skills. For example, an extensive study from Oxford University showed that if mothers who are allowed to work outside the home, what? An extensive study from Oxford University showed that get rid of if. Mothers who are allowed to work outside the home improved, without the had, their ability and confidence. Consequently, it is possible to state beyond doubt that this type of changing of family roles has more benefited women than men. Okay, so some grammar things, but on the whole, I like what you wrote. It was good. It was right in line with what you wrote in your introduction, so that's fine. To conclude, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although fathers' role by staying home and maintaining children, we don't maintain children, we raise children, we, we raise them essentially. So by staying at home and raising children, have many, to conclude from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that although father's role by staying at home and maintaining children have many reasons for this development, it has many advantages for women than men. Okay, the grammar here, Farheen, is a problem. We really have to fix it. Okay, let's just change it around. So to conclude, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that There are many reasons for why fathers stay at home and raise children, and it has many advantages. It has more advantages for women than men. It is predicted that this type of trend will likely increase in the future. Okay, so I like a lot of this. I thought you did a really good job with development, good vocabulary, but the grammar was kind of off. There were a number of areas where it wasn't consistently high. Yeah, so it's the grammar what was consistently had some issues. So I want you to work on that a little bit. Be aware of some of these mistakes. It just created some awkwardness. Let's take a look now at your task one with this. What's going on here? All right, I don't understand why there's a bullet here. That's a little strange. Let's see what happened. The line graph illustrates not the record, the amount of rainfall in England, Scotland, and Wales for 12 months in 2018. Units are measured in ml. Overall, what stands out from the graph is that there was a considerable fluctuation in the rate of rainfall in all three countries. Good. Another interesting point is that there was a downward trend in the Wales rainfall, whereas England and Scotland witnessed a moderate upward trend in the rainfall at the end of the year. Okay, fine. With regard to rain in Scotland, it stood at 120 ml in January. Following this, there was a sharp fall around 100 ml and not had reached, but just reached and reached 20 ml by the next month before reaching the highest peak of 135 by March. During the next 1 month, there was a dramatic decrease in rain, not which accounts for 240 ml. Then the figure fluctuated to reach a high of 135 in October. This number then dropped significantly to 50 ml, after which it had reached 100 by December and had reached the same level as was in January. Similarly, in England, the amount of rain was 115 in January and remained the same level until February. From March to October, it fluctuated between 80 and what? And remained relatively constant at 80 before reaching the highest rainfall among all countries at 135 in December. In contrast, having started at the lowest rainfall at 50 in the first month in Wales, there was minimal growth, get rid of the A, and it reached, without the had, 80 ml by February before it declined in March and reached, again, no had, the same level that was in January. Over the subsequent 3 months, it fluctuated and reached a peak of 135 by July. It was the highest rainfall in that period. Okay, good. Next, the amount of rain dipped dramatically to below 50. In the next 3 months, the figure leveled off to 50, and after that, it rose double to 100 until November, and then fell marginally at 50. Okay, 250 here, too. All right, so I didn't really say a lot about this. I was essentially just correcting it. I would love to see your word count. It seems rather high. I can't do it here because it's a PDF, but it seems too much. And you did some things in here that I really liked. You used some great vocabulary, really, really appropriate, absolutely accurate vocabulary. I mean, for the most part. And so all that was good. And okay, you know what? Let me back up. So the vocabulary in this was really, really good. Another thing that was really good is that you picked up on some of the important points here. So treating this like what it is, basically, it's like the year in rain, okay? You started with the beginning, then you kind of told us a story, and then you finished off at the end telling us what it was at December. So that was good. What I think you did too much of is you got into just too much detail. This is supposed to take you about 20 minutes. And basically, I felt it was too much. You know what I mean? Like you focused on so many details, it was really hard to understand what was important here. Okay? So, like I said, you did something really good. You started with the beginning, you started with January for all of them, and then you used some great vocabulary, and then you finished at the end. But what I would have selected for you to do is something a little different. Let me show you how I would do this, okay? Assuming that we keep the introduction, we keep the overview, I would then do this. I would say Scotland started the year with the highest rainfall at 120 ml. It reached its lowest point of the year in the following month at around 20 ml, and its first of two peaks in March at 135, 40, I don't know. Okay, the second peak was in October. It ended out the year at slightly above 100 in December. So what did I talk about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. Okay. Then I would say the country with the second highest rainfall was England. It had the least fluctuation of all three countries. It started at 110 and fluctuated with a low of whatever that is, 75 in June. It then reached three peaks of what number is that? 130 in July, September, finishing the year out at the same number in December. Okay, then the lowest rainfall was found in Wales at just under 50. It experienced an increase before reaching its low in April at whatever that number is. Okay, it continued to fluctuate, reaching the highest point in July at 135. It then leveled to just under 50 for the next 3 months, and ended the period after some more fluctuation at just above 50. You see, so again, what I'm doing, you'll find, is that I'm basically focusing on 5 points in each graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I haven't done a word count for this. I'm pretty sure that I would be okay. But that's what I would like to see you doing. Really just focusing. I mean, obviously, you're going to say in your overview that all three countries experience a ton of fluctuation, which you already did. And so that you don't have to go into all that in the description. Okay. You could just talk about those highs, those lows. And in this case, you can talk about that plateau. All right. So it's a nice job overall. Work on it a little bit. And let's see another set from you. Okay. Good luck.